I've been telling people that Ravens season ain't over yet. And just to continue to show even more support for our guys, we got to pull up to the game tomorrow. So we're going to be at M&T Bank Stadium watching the Ravens play the Rams. I know it's supposed to be rainy. I know Lamar Jackson ain't playing. We know how rough this defense has been, and we know how strong of a team the Rams are. But we still going to go and cheer on our guys and hope that this is the beginning of a serious turnaround for our team. Hey, hit me up in a DM if you know the best tailgating spot for the game, or just put in the comment section too. I look forward to seeing anybody that's going to be there. Now, with the Baltimore Ravens, they got a little extra bread because they made a move a couple of days ago that cleared up some cap space. And let's see exactly how much bread these boys got. This came from Brian McFarland. He said, with the Oweh and Gilman deal complete, we're looking forward to Gilman's first game as a Baltimore Raven too. He said, the Ravens are now about $14 million under the cap, assuming that they did not eat any of Oweh's salary as part of the deal. Some of that will need to be reserved for weekly practice squad elevations and future injuries, but they've definitely got flexibility for another move or moves. So now that we have that information cleared up on exactly how much bread the Ravens got, how could they use it? What type of move could they make? Who could they bring in realistically now to help this team out and get this turnaround started? Jeffrey Simmons, he has been a name that a lot of Ravens fans have been talking about. On a struggling Titans team, a lot of Ravens fans feel like he could be a difference maker on this defense. And I agree. But then when I thought, hold up, ain't he getting paid a lot of bread? Well, yes, but then I was on Twitter just scrolling around, and I just so happened to run into this tweet from Spot Track where they talked about potential trade candidates right now. And Jeffrey Simmons was on this list. Now, what really got my eye was the 2025 cap hit for a new team as of week 7. So if he were to be traded somewhere like the Baltimore Ravens, how much they would have to pay. And it was only a little over 11.6 mil. So yeah, we got a little over 14 mil. His cap hit would be 11.6 mil, but they could make it work. Especially you could restructure a couple of contracts here and there like you've already done. And then boom, look at that. Problem is partially solved. But what about pass rush? Well, doesn't the interior of the defensive line make the exterior even better? Yes, but if we know anything about the Baltimore Ravens, they wouldn't stop there. So Jeffrey Simmons is an option. Also think even more realistically than that, probably Calais Campbell on a struggling Cardinals team. He would certainly be an option as well. He should have probably already been here, but they like to bring that old thing back, and Calais Campbell would not cost nearly as much money as Jeffrey Simmons. So that's another option too. Probably even more realistic than Jeffrey Simmons, especially since he's been here, done that before with this team. Now, that's the interior of the defensive line. What about the exterior of it? Well, I know a lot of Ravens fans probably won't like this, but a move that I could see them making, especially being the Baltimore Ravens, would be for Drake Jackson. Let's read the report from Jeff Zrebic on their visit. So, Ravens had outside linebacker Drake Jackson in for a workout per the league's personnel notice. Jackson is a former second-round pick of the 49ers who didn't play last year as he recovered from a significant knee injury. He had 3 sacks in each of his first 2 NFL seasons. So, the injury bug got him. 49ers said, you're out of here. And he's been going on visits. It is not the sexiest move in the world. It is not the flashiest move in the world. But it got Baltimore Ravens written all over it. So I would love for them to get a Jeffrey Simmons. Y'all know I would love for them to get a Max Crosby. But when we think realistically, those 2 moves, Calais Campbell and Drake Jackson, that's what it seems like the Baltimore Ravens would probably do. My favorite part of the video is here. Let's get straight to these questions. First one came from my guy Lorenzo. He said, P.S. Love the show, been watching for years. Hey, appreciate that, Zoe. We about to speak about another Zoe. He said, let's get straight to it. Zach Orr needs to be let go. His turnaround last season was Dean Pease coming back to hold his hand. So what's happening now? Anyway, he said, EDC, love him, but he did nothing to improve an already average defensive line when Michael Pierce retired. He did nothing, and now with Matabike injured for the year, why is he not trying to get a replacement? Christian Wilkins is available last time I checked. Don't worry, he got something coming. Like we said, we talked about that stuff that he could possibly do. But I know a lot of Ravens fans probably wouldn't be the biggest fans of that. It would be an improvement, but hopefully EDC goes big. Anyway, he said, I believe with the talent we have in the secondary, if we had a defensive line that could stop a run and get some pressure on the quarterback, the secondary can make plays. Am I crazy or does this make sense? Oh, no, it makes all the sense in the world, Lorenzo. Still believing. I love this. Next question came from my guy, Real Raw Reckless. He said, "Ain't Raven, the team keep it clean. Hope you're all having a great week." We certainly are. He said, "I'm still feeling real optimistic about the Ravens season. When I look at the chaos around the league, the Giants beating both the Chargers and the Eagles. Yeah, talk about it. Like, again, Ravens ain't got no excuses. The Giants, they benched their starting quarterback, got a rookie in there, and they went and took it to them Eagles. And it wasn't even no close game. Like, they pulled away. Anyway, he said the Giants beating both the Chargers and the Eagles, the Cowboys, my other squad, tying the Packers, the Jaguars getting a win over the Chiefs, and the depleted 49ers still finding a way to beat the Rams. It tells me one thing. This season is far from over. I love it. See, you ain't even got to say no more. But let's keep going. He said, we still have a chance to turn things around and make a playoff run, and it all starts this week. What do you think is the single biggest key for the Ravens to come out with a decisive win against the Rams? And he said, hashtag we still have a chance. Biggest key to a decisive win? Oh, boy, that defense would have to go crazy with it. Like crazier than they went all season long. But then you think about the offense. Turnovers, can't happen. Derrick Henry not being a factor, can't happen. Passing game not being a factor, can't happen. Like, they got to be converting on these third downs. They got to be pushing that ball down the field. Derrick Henry got to be a force. Like, they got to convert. It can't be no field goals. It needs to be touchdowns. Touchdowns and no turnovers, and the Ravens will be in good shape. And also, the defense got to start actually playing. Good Lordy. Next question came from my guy, Marc JG. He said, what's going on, Ingraven? Hope all is well, especially with the season going on, and I'm glad you and the family are good. It was nice hearing about you and your routine about Carter. You got a beautiful family, and it's nice to go home to peace. Oh, I appreciate that, and that's real right there. There's nothing like peace. Anyway, he said, we love when your channel turns into a chill session and we talk about life, food, or whatever. Everyone is hurting. You take your time to let every voice be heard. We appreciate that, and let the Lord bless you, bro. You deserve it. I appreciate you, man. He said, I don't know where to start. I was thinking Detroit was a get-right game, but we see how that went. I was thinking KC, we going to find out what this team is, and we found out. Houston was either win or someone's getting fired. Bro, I don't care about wins or losses anymore, because if we lose, it's whatever. But if we win, it's just as bad, because this time winning can't cure this locker room. You have to lose like this on purpose, because I thought about you. LOL, when I see the Ravens, it's like other teams, y'all have issues in a bad offense. Watch this. Or you got zero pass rush. Bet. Watch this. Lamar gets creamed. How does it feel to put the same product out there and expect a different result? How does it feel to allow the same routines and expect a different result? How does it feel to say the same things and expect a different result? You know what that is? Insanity. And the players had enough of going insane. So if we fire Zach or any coaching staff members, it won't make a difference, because the one constant is still there. That's John Harbaugh. We will continue to get the same results when Lamar comes back and Rowan Marlin, because that voice is stale and insane. That's why, to me, winning and losing doesn't matter. What's the point in putting on new clothes if you haven't showered? You look fly, but you reek the same stench being the same person. Oh my goodness. Ugh. He said, side tangent real quick. Speaking of Zach Orr, in hindsight, we can say it was a bad hire, but I still don't think so of the former players who coached and coordinated. D'Amico Ryan started exactly where Zach was and became a head coach. Bobby B, former player who got the Bills defense as a top 10 defense. And you saw the Lions-Ravens game, right? Kelvin Shepard, he played at LSU. These coaches are young and have a resume. Now I ask you this. How does Zach Orr look under Mike McDonald? Because John made the right call, in my opinion, to this day, because he was going to Seattle. But here's the difference. Mike could have tutored Zach in defense, and I promise it would have worked. But John can't do that, so bet on Zach being in Seattle next season. Also, my opinion, back to what I was saying, LOL, I believe Odafe requested a trade, because that trade, I was at least expecting a third back, but they do have to pay him. I'm with you. I don't think we are done, but what player comes to play in this locker room the way it stands now? Because that's the issue. Because, bro, we on pace to cough up 600 points. Yeah, wow. I think I did hear from somebody that Odafe Oweh, he did request a trade. Once the contract talks broke down, he ain't get no deal, then he was like, all right, y'all let me go. But I don't know if that's true or not. He said, sorry for the long one, Ingraven. I wish I could be on here talking about Derrick Henry and Keith Mitchell doing a halfback wildcat option or a quick pop pass in the end zone. But see how the Ravens are. I don't mean to sound negative, but there's no Ed Reed or Ray Lewis. It's going to have to come from Marlo, Roquan, Kyle Vanoy, Lamar, Derrick to turn this around, and for Harbaugh to sit down with his players and say, what can I do to have y'all trust me again? Harbs can't hide behind Lamar and Ray and are being exposed by Ed Reed, Bernard Pollard, Juice Man. We've been seeing for years why they spoke out at him. Anyways, I'm going. I ain't watching that Rams game, but I'll pop in the live stream. Ain't gonna be no live stream this week, because again, we're gonna be there in the building, so ain't gonna be no live stream this week. But anyway, he said, team, keep it clean, keep your peace, and don't let the season rob you of your joy. We still flocking, even if our wings are broke. Oh, we spoiled. Next question came from my guy Andrew. He said, "Dang, Graven, hope you and the family are doing great. Sorry for the terrible spelling during the live stream. I was pretty heated. It's all good, my friend." Anyway, after that blowout loss to the Texans, which they totally deserve, no shade, it got me thinking about Kyle Hamilton's comments. I know he since walked them back, but I want to stand by what he said. It was true. Here's the big thing. Hamilton being spoiled for us fans just means we have standards set by legends like Ray Lewis, T. Stizzle, Ed Reed, and Jonathan Ogden. The list goes on. What's been bugging me after the first 5 games is how we're not living up to those standards. Don't get me wrong, I have issues with Harbs and Orr, but this time I want to talk to the players. Bad tackling from the defense, stopping mid-route from the offense. These are the bare minimum expectations, and yet you have the nerve to say we're spoiled? I think the players need to hang their heads in shame because I don't see how you can talk about spoiled when you fail to achieve the bare minimum. I'm hoping I'll eat my words and get proven wrong, but I'm really struggling to see the positive. I just really needed to get that off my chest. But like Zach Orr's defensive scheme against any NFL opposition, I'm out. Hopefully that ends up being wrong this week. But the spoiled, I guess you can say. Kyle Hamilton, we have been spoiled because we've done had a lot of great players and we've had a lot of great defenses too. But this year, oh no, ain't nothing spoiled about us as fans. The defense, it has seemed like it's like spoiled milk or something like that. But right now we certainly ain't spoiled at all. Next question came from my guy Ty. He said, hope isn't lost yet. Hey, brother, hope you're doing well. These last few weeks have been rough to watch for us. That said, I do still believe that it's way too early to call the season over. Thank you. Bingo. He said, there's still time to get back on track. It's just going to take some changes and effort. Also, some of our boys to get healthy again. I think that the additions at safety are going to play a much bigger role than most of us probably think when it comes to getting back on track. Gilman is a solid coverage safety, and him back deep with some mix of Starks and our other guys is going to help free a bunch more exotic looks for Kyle Hamilton. I think now that he should be back, and it looks like the current plan is to let that boy go ball all over the place, we might see a bit of improvement in our defense. Yeah, that should certainly be able to help for sure. He said, Ricard coming back is going to be such a huge help to our offense, more than a ton of fans probably realize. The fullback position has been heavily phased out in today's NFL, but Ricard is just one of them guys. When he's there, our team is just that much better. He might be able to help get this offensive line looking serviceable enough to keep Lamar safe when he returns. In base case scenario, help Cooper rush upright and give him some time to make something happen to try to keep us in the Rams game. I also think Derrick Henry will benefit massively from Ricard being back to help with opening up the running lanes to hit. Yeah, well, I don't think he's going to play this week, but we'll see about after the bye. But anyway, we won't know till we know. Anyway, he said we got some guys coming back and we're slowly shrinking that injury report. And I really don't think EDC is done yet. The deadline's just a few weeks out, and we just let Oweh go. I think it's certainly possible that Marc Andrews is the next guy shopped out of here, maybe with a few picks too. Realistically, we're not going to be getting a high-end starter for our offensive line at this point in the season. The teams with quality offensive lines are going to want to keep those guys to contend and keep winning. Seeing as how most of the best offensive line units are playing under a winning team, that leads me to believe we may be getting a difference maker somewhere for our trenches or linebacker room on defense. Bingo, trenches, defensive trenches. He said, I'm not too sure what the linebacker trade market looks like, but I think that if we're going to stick with Roquan Smith, we need someone a bit better alongside him. That and with Nnamdi out for the season and us trading away to LA, our defensive line looks really undermanned and could use help. Yeah. He said, we can still get the season back on track. Harbaugh's decision-making lately doesn't give me a ton of confidence, but crazier things have happened. We got this. Let that man EDC cook. Let this team get healthy, and maybe we wind up firing, or only time will tell. I believe that even though once he got hurt, he looked done. When Lamar gets back, he's going to be coming back with a vengeance. Am I a bad fan? Next question came from my guy Jay Fire. He said, hey, Ingraven, that's your boy Jay Fire here. Hope you and the fam are doing well. This season has been a season. Let's keep it at that, because if I talk about it too much, I'll start tearing up, LOL. But I had a comment, then a question. My comment is, I am torn about these changes we are making and the people we have returning back to the lineup. On the one hand, I want us to have a comeback this season. I love nothing more to see us run the table and make the haters eat their words. But on the other hand, I feel like this poor start to the season was putting the heat on Harbaugh and exposing the flaws in our system that have been a long time coming. If we improve dramatically, I think that would mean Harbaugh comes back and we act like nothing was wrong. Am I a bad fan for am I a bad fan for saying that a bad season might bring us the necessary changes we need? What do you think? I think it would, but at the same time, I can never root against the Ravens. I can never root for them to fail. And I know if they fail, then that would ultimately bring a lot of fans success, because that could mean they would possibly, it's not a guarantee, I think it would be likely though, but they will possibly fire John Harbaugh. Now, I think the way that things are going right now, they could turn this thing around, and they will turn this thing around. But anything short of a Super Bowl, then Harbaugh's gone. He's got to be. Anything short of a Super Bowl. Not only getting to anything short of winning the Super, he's got to be gone. Gotta be. Hey, Ravens win the Super Bowl this year? Give them another contract extension. No problem if they win the Super Bowl. No problem. Because I ain't gonna be able to complain at that point. If the Ravens, they start off, 1-4? Then go to 2-4 after this Rams game? Hey, we'll see. But if they start off like they've been starting off, which is rough, and they're going to win the Super Bowl, yeah, give them another contract extension. That's fine. But, yeah, if they don't win the Super Bowl for any reason, then, yeah, he's got to go in my opinion. Anyway, he said, okay, so my question is, other than Max Crosby, because we all know you love him, who would you want the Ravens to go after as a pass rusher? Ooh. Pass rusher. I think the Cowboys, they got somebody who could be really good on the Baltimore Ravens. I know y'all know who that is. Other than that, pass rushers. Off the top of my head, I can't even really think of anybody right now. I think a bigger shift, just as big as getting a significant pass rusher, would be changing up this defense, having somebody else call the plays. Because this whole prevent defense, this soft coverage defense, this defense where they backed way up off the receivers, it ain't been flying, man. It ain't gonna fly. It's really, really not. And so again, hopefully in a game tomorrow, they could start to get stuff turned around. We'll see. But it might just be that they need to hear a new voice, man. And if they had a shakeup, like a serious shakeup, if they made a significant move, which is something that they don't normally do during the season, I think that could help catch a lot of people's attention. That could help really have people like, oh, hold up, like, okay, we are serious. We are still serious this year. Okay, all right, hey, let me tighten up. Trading Odafe Oweh, that was an eye opener for some people, but it wasn't that big. Like, oh, where's Odafe? No, because I think when you look at the lack of production, the lack of involvement, his snap count continuing to go down and decrease, then him getting traded, it was surprising. But then when you thought about it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it wasn't that surprising. It was initially, though. I was still a little shocked. Oh, like, wow, they really traded Odafe Oweh. But then you thought about, like, oh, yeah, they probably wasn't going to pay him, and he really wasn't doing much for them this year. And they're like, okay, you know what, whatever, we'll get something rather than nothing. But, yeah, so I think that was a semi-wake-up call, but them making a move on the front office, to the coaching staff, or getting rid of a player that has made a lot of plays for the Ravens over the years, and he wears the opposite number of a Max Crosby, but he's on offense, I think that would really like light a fire under this team. I think it would have some people upset too, but it would really catch this team's attention. I'm talking about Marc Andrews, by the way, because that, like, and I know that's been a rumor that, Raven could possibly trade Marc, and anything possible. That would be like, whoa, if they got rid of him. You know me, I want to keep everybody. I want everybody to stay. I want us to have as much quality depth as possible, but something got to get shaken up, man, with this team. Something got to get shaken up because they are too, like, stuff ain't working right now. It's really not. It's not working. So Ravens they gotta get this thing on point, man. So I don't know what it's gonna take, but those are some options. Anyway, he said, I think we need somebody more proven. I feel like in the past we got projects and people that could have gone off but weren't at the time. Well, love your thoughts, and just like I hope Falele is from the starting lineup, I'm out. Now, Jay Fire, real quick, they did talk about how the Ravens might possibly change up the offensive line, but in practice from Friday, they said it was the same offensive line that they've continued to have out there that was practicing together. So maybe no changes there. And again, this bye week is a great opportunity to make those significant changes, actually regardless of how this game goes. Regardless of how this game goes, you have plenty of opportunities to make some significant changes to this team. I do expect some changes to this team. I do expect some additions. And possibly some other subtractions as well. But I do expect them to change some stuff up with the personnel. As far as the coaching staff, again, tomorrow's game against the Rams will tell such a big story.